everyone. Welcome to joining our webinar today. Thank you so much for joining us on this August beautiful day out here in New Jersey. I don't know what the weather is wherever it is that everyone is joining us from, but welcome. We are going to cover EZLeagues today. I'm looking forward to guiding you through how to schedule your leagues. Today, we will be showing you how to go through the league scheduling specifically. There is also scheduling available for tournaments, but today we will be demoing the league schedule. They're pretty similar in their functionality, but we do also have our knowledge base guides for EZLeagues if you needed more specific questions answered for your tournaments. Just like all of our previous webinars, we will be demoing the newest version of our software. While the interface may look a little bit different and looks a little bit refreshed, a little bit updated here, it is still the same functionality as the classic version of our software. With that said, we wanted to offer you a little bit of a sneak peek while you're joining this webinar. In about an hour after our webinar is over, which would be 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so in about 2 hours time, there will be an email going out to all of our clients introducing a new feature that we're going to announce to all of our clientele. This new feature is a new email campaign. It will allow you to be able to send out as many emails as you want to your clients. There will be no limits. You won't have to import to your contacts to a different software because you can have everything right here all in one place. We also have cutting edge AI technology included in doing this email campaign where you would be able to put in AI generated images. You can use AI generated smart text. We have all of this technology available in this new email campaigns. It also will provide you with a way of tracking the performance of your campaigns and optimize your campaigns for the best results. So definitely keep your eye out for that email in about 2 hours time from our marketing team, and they'll put the information on there on who you can contact in order to either get signed up for that new email campaign, or if you want it to be able to switch to our new version of our software, you could definitely reach out to our support team at support@ezfacility.com or an account management team at account management, which is am@ezfacility.com. So today in the chat, we should have a Q&A option. There should also be a chat option as well. I've gone through a couple of the settings. We should have both of those options in there. Please make sure you put your questions in the Q&A, but you can feel free to also chat with us if you have any comments as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started here. So as I said, we will be demoing EZLeagues today. The first thing we need to do is we need to open up our tournament or league that we're going ahead and publishing over to EZLeagues. This is the same group that we spoke about on our last webinar. We're going to click the pencil icon in order to open it. You'll see here the third tab in says Publish to EZLeagues. Now we're going to take this one step at a time here. Today, as I said, we're only demoing leagues, so the type here is going to be league round robin. We do have the other options of tournament, single elimination, double elimination, and round robin as well. The name here is pulled from the name of the group. You can change it in here if you would like to. In our case, we'll just leave it alone. The age group here, you do need to set this. This would be so that your officials that are going to be able to that'll be able to either referee or officiate your league here, that you have the correct official for the correct league that you are running. So you'll want to make sure that you choose the correct one there. Division, you can either add new or you can use one that you've already used in the past. These could be things like seasons, fall, winter, spring, or summer. or this could be even like a pro division or whatever you call your divisions. Season starts and seasons ends are when do we want this season to start and when do we want to end. You can make it something, just put it in here for now. And then once you get into the EZLeagues itself, you can also adjust these season start and end dates. In this case, for our example, we're going to have our league start on September 7th. Maybe we'll just go ahead and choose that it'll end on October 26th. Your sport in here, you can go ahead and choose whatever type of sport it is that you're running. We have a full list of them. This is how the standings are going to be calculated by the EZLeagues system. So it'll be, how many points does somebody get per win? How many points does somebody get per loss? So these are just predefined ones in the system. You are able to change them, but at least it's a good starting point for you. Your team fee and player fee will show up on the public side of the EZLeagues site. You can put in a certain fee in here if you want it to have that displayed on your public site, or you can leave them at 0. Your registration link here. Now, it is highly suggested that you remove the registration link here. Reason for that is if somebody joins your league about midway through when the league starts, you'll either manually have to generate leagues specific for those teams that are joining, or you'll have to redo your entire schedule. So it's always recommended that you go ahead and wait to publish over to EZLeagues until you've actually got everybody joined in there, and you're going to remove this registration link here so that you don't have anybody join midway through the game. The minutes per game, how long is your game going to be running for? Now you do want to include any break time that you need in between games. So if you say that your games are going to run for 60 minutes, but you need 10 minutes in between each game, then you'd want to go ahead and change this to 70 minutes. You could go ahead and put in max defaults, max forfeits, and minimum sportsmanships if you would like to. They are optional fields. The very last thing that you'll need to do is publish all subgroups as teams and publish all members as players. In this particular league, we had all of our subgroups as teams where they all signed up and they put on individual players and joined onto those teams. Now we're going to go ahead and publish this over to EZLeagues. And we'll just give it just a moment here. It seems to want to think. There we go. So it's thinking here. All right, so now we have it set up here. It does give us two options. The first option is a public preview, which will take you to the public side of your EZLeagues site, or you can click Admin Edit, which is going to take you directly to the league page where you can start scheduling this particular league. Now, if you're brand new to EZLeagues and your account has not yet been set up, if you have not been through any training with any of us as far as setting up leagues, one of the big things you'll need to do is set up your venues. So you'll go to Administration, you'll click on Venues, and in here, again, if your account is new, you'll just see a number here that says Venue 1 as a placeholder. You can either edit that placeholder or you can add a venue over on the right-hand side. If I click open my rink here you can name your venue. You'll see all of your venues that are all here that are pulling from your schedule over in EZ Facility. This way, you're going to be able to map your venues over so that when you do schedule a league on a specific resource, it will show up on your EZ Facility calendar. This way, it makes marking them a lot easier. Once you have all your venues set up, we can go ahead and go back to administration and click on leagues. Now we're going to find our league here and go over to the right and click the pencil icon. We're back on this screen. The main portion of this to go through is going to be generate schedule. Generate schedule is going to open in a new window. This is our wizard that will help you go ahead and build out the schedule for your league. Step 1 is choose the league you wish to work on. Now it'll automatically go ahead and check the one that you open the wizard with, so you can just click next set locations. This portion is asking you what venue are you going to be playing on. You'll be able to mark off as many venues as you need in order to schedule this league. So let's say we're going to play on the baseball field and softball field. The next setting is for dates and times. So when you're playing this league, we have that the league is going to start on September 7th. But we need to choose what days of the week are we playing the league on. Is it just going to be Saturday? Is it going to be Friday, Saturday? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? You could go ahead and choose. So in this case, we'll say our league is going to be played on Saturday. Now, the league cutoff date is an optional field. It is better to just on the next page set what your end date is going to be and let the scheduling wizard do its thing rather than putting a date in here. It is better to do that on the next page. So it is best to leave that blank. Game starts at here where it says 1 a.m. We can go ahead and choose a start time. So let's say that we're going to start our league at 9 a.m. and that each game will be 70 minutes long. That came from when we published over from EZLeagues. We can go ahead and add in that time slot. Now you'll notice the next time in here, which is 70 minutes later, is 10:10. So you can just keep clicking the add time slot button and it's going to go ahead and add in each time slot with 70 minutes in between each. So we'll put as many in here that we feel we might need. Maybe we want to go till later in the evening. The other option too, maybe this 12:30 time slot, you know what? We want a break for lunch. So we want to go ahead and click the X and we're going to remove that 12:30 time slot so that way we can have a break for lunch in there. Again, if we add some more in here and we say, you know what, we want a break for dinner as well, we'll take out the 5:10 so that we can break for dinner as well. Our next screen is adjust settings. So each team plays one game for 13 games in total. So that's going to mean that each team is only going to play one game a week, and it's going to go for 13 weeks. If you'll see down here, our predicted completion is 11:30. If we wanted to say, you know what, actually we want both teams, or we want teams to play 2 games per week for 13 games in total, now you see it brings our completion date to 10/12. You can keep changing these games around so that you get to what completion date you would like. Remove previously scheduled games. If there's any games already scheduled for this league, it's going to go ahead and remove them from the schedule here. Remove unschedulable games. If while you're going through this, you have a conflict on the calendar and putting this game on the calendar is going to make it so that there is a conflict. If you have this checked on, it's not going to actually schedule those games. You'll be able to go in and manually set a date or time when you want that game to be played. Avoid double booking facilities. We definitely suggest leaving this one on. This makes it so that if there's something already happening on the facility at those times that you have chosen, it's going to cause a conflict, let you know, hey, you know, you are going to double book here. So you want to make sure that you have this checked on. All back-to-back double headers. So what it'll do is it'll make it so that each team is going to play each other back-to-back. It'll also double the numbers up here where it'll be 4 games per week for 30 games in total. Move scheduled date here. So if you have a holiday in between or a date when your facility is not going to be available for you to be able to have a game and you want to move it, you could go ahead and say what the original date was. So let's say maybe the 14th or yeah, maybe the 14th is a holiday. We're going to pick up all of the games that would originally be scheduled on the 14th, and we're going to move them to after the 26th of October, sorry. So if we move to November, we have November 2nd, and we're going to schedule new date. This is literally just going to pick up all the games the 14th, move them directly on to the 2nd. The next page is going to be preferences. So if you have teams that have preferences or priorities, let's say, maybe we're only using the same day of the week, but maybe they have a time preference. Maybe you have a team that prefers to play early in the morning and they don't want to play in the afternoon. Maybe they have a long drive home. You could choose the team from up above that has the preference, and maybe it's 9 a.m., you could go ahead and say that this one prefers to be at 9 a.m. Or you could say, you know what, instead of prefers, they want priority of 9 a.m. By setting the priority, the system is going to do everything it can possibly do to make sure that Team Alpha, which is the team we're currently on, will always be scheduled at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. If you have a preference set and you have more than one team with a preference, the system's going to do its best to accommodate every preference that you have set for the teams. Now, priority is higher ranking than preference, so that anyone who has priority will definitely get those time slots, whereas anyone with a preference, the system will do its best. Once you have set up a preference, you would go ahead and save the preference. And you would do that for each of your teams that you needed to. Then there's different options in here. There is date preferences, days of the week if your league is going on multiple days during the week, time slot as we saw, and we have home and away locations. Moving on to the next screen, we have our finalized screen. So here we'll see that we have 2 games being played because we said each team needs to play 2 games a week. So the first round is up top and the second round is in the more green color. Now we have our grid below where it is showing that right now, these are how our games are going to be played. The first round will be played 9 a.m. to 1:40, and the second round will be played 2:50 to 7:30. If you decide to make any changes and you remove any of these colors here and update the grid, it will show you if there is an error where there's one under, but it'll also show you if you have too many slots on here, and it'll tell you you're not using your resources most effectively, you want to make a change. So you can go ahead and change that and update the grid again. Once you have this all set, the next thing to go to is the view balancing. Now, if we had any conflicts on the calendar and we, needed to know that, up here in this white space, those conflicts would show up. It'll tell you exactly when the conflict is and what it is. So for instance, if it's a specific date because you have something else on the calendar, you can use the back buttons down here in order to travel back to the dates and time section, and you could move those games to the end of the league if you wanted to, and just extend the end of the league there. In this balancing, you'll see home and away. The system is doing its best to go ahead and schedule the teams as evenly as possible, both home and away. Location, so for the actual venue that they are playing on, you'll see that the system is trying its best to make sure that they're all playing on the venues equally. Time slots, again, the system is doing its best to make sure as equally as possible that we have people playing. And obviously weekday, we have everyone playing on here. The very last thing to do is going to be set games. Now, again, if there were going to be any conflicts, up here where it says all games were created without any issues, it would let you know that there were conflicts as well. So if you missed them up here in the white space, it'll let you know here. We'll go ahead and close session. All right, before we move on, I know that Mike has been answering some questions in the Q&A section, but I do want to stop and pause here. Does anybody have any other questions regarding the scheduling before we move on? No? Okay. Please do continue to put them in the Q&A. If it's something that we're not able to answer on this call, we'll definitely follow up with you at the end of the webinar. But definitely we welcome questions. That's exactly what this webinar is for it to be a bit interactive so that everybody's able to get their questions answered as much as possible. So what we see now, this is going to be the public side of the site. It's going to take us directly there once you've posted the schedule. In here, we have the different stats that are available for every team. We'll see now that there is a schedule available, and we'll see that each team plays and when they play. If you click on a particular team, it'll provide you with just their schedule. So again, your clients are able to do that. Optionally, there is a roster as well. So if we go back to our regular screen here, the rosters are just found under the individual teams. We have a news section, which we will touch on in just a few moments. And then there's also a details section as well, where they do have rules and regulations that they're able to click on. I'll let you know in just a moment where it is that you could change that. So if we close this out and we bring open our screen on the back end again, under here where it says public site, if we click edit, this is where you can have your EZLeagues account show the player's roster under the league and under the teams as well. So the default right now for all of our clients is that these two options are checked off. Because mine's a demo account, I do have them turned on, but this is how you would make it show the rosters for you. Now, these rosters are only here if you've published the league over from Easy Facility or you've manually added the roster within EZLeagues itself. All right, the other thing to talk about in here, we're going to start going through these options here. So the add edit teams, this is where if you needed to manually add a team in here before you generate that schedule, you could go ahead and add the team in here. Again, if we click the pencil icon and open it up, this is where we could add our roster manually on the EZLeagues side. The player does need to already be in EZLeagues in order to be added to a team here. We could show you in just a moment where it is that you're going to find that information. The next section here is add edit games. This is where all of our games live for our regular season. So if you needed it to have a playoff type game, you will have to generate your schedule for your regular season first, and then come in here once your season is over and click add game, and you could do post-season games. Now, these labels here, where it says, the name of the team, and then it says, or for example, first place, the first place section is just a label. It is not going to automatically go through and say, okay, in the regular season, this team Alpha was in first place, so that's how the game is going to be scheduled. Unfortunately, that is not currently how it works. The function is, it just is a way of labeling that Team Alpha went through, you're now at the end, you're going to put in your postseason games. They were currently in first place, so you can put the word first place in here. You would be able to choose the date and time. You would be able to choose the length of the game again, where you're going to play it. Also within here is where you can add your officials. I'm going to show you another section as well where officials can be added. And there's also the options to put in scores when your game is done. But again, there's a better place to do that. Over on the right-hand side, we will see if we were to change this date to September, it's going to show us of any games that are being played near this time. So this way, and on this venue, so it would be baseball field. As you can see, we have all of these games already going on. So it's going to be the best way to show you how to not cause conflicts when you're scheduling a game in between mid-season. You can open any of these games by clicking the pencil icon and changing any of the information in here that you need to. What if you have a team that needs to switch places with another team? You can do that right in here. If you need a team that needs to play back-to-back games and they're playing one later in the afternoon, you can flip-flop them and change them up. So you have a lot of play in here to be able to do that. All right, so we've already gone through the generate schedule. At this point, we're going to go out to administration and kind of talk through some of these tiles in here. The first one in here is manage scores, where if you go here to a particular date for our league that we're currently running, we'll see all of the games that are playing that day. Within here is where we can go ahead and add in our officials. We can also view the game card. If we click view here, we'll see that we have our game card here. We'll also notice that because we published this league over from Easy Facility, that the players' names have auto-populated on the cards. So this is one way of going ahead and printing out any scorecards to manually take scores while you're going through the leagues. Adding officials, again, you could go ahead and add a official in here. You can move them over so that James Smith is going to be the one that's going to officiate this particular game. You can also create a user account for your officials so that the only thing that they will be able to do is to be able to put the scores in once the games are done. They'll be able to add results. They'll put in the scores in here. Maybe the score is 6-7 here. You'll be able to choose the participation in here. We have sportsmanship options, award bonus points, and we can go ahead and update those results. All right, let me pause here. I do see we have a few questions in here. And I see that Mike is working on them. From season to season, I have many teams that are returning players. Is there a way to transfer numbers for players from season to season? Each season is a new group. Is there a live scoring options? There are scoring options as far as tracking stats and such. To get a little bit more information about that, we do have our knowledge base articles that will help you with tracking those stats, or reach out to our support team. They will definitely be able to help you with tracking those stats. All right. So we've gone through scores now. We do have our leagues in here where this will go ahead and list out all of the leagues that you are currently running. There are certain filters that you can have up at the top to let you know, whether a league has been completed or not. You can filter them out here. We also do have tournaments where you'll be able to only see the tournaments that you are running. Classes and clinics. So if you wanted to be able to add a class or clinic, it kind of is a advertisement, if you will, on your EZLeagues account, you can add it in here. However, it is much better to use classes and clinics through Easy Facilities scheduling itself rather than scheduling them through EZLeagues. This way, your clients would be able to purchase packages, they would be able to book directly into the classes, whereas this one is more or less like an advertisement rather than them being able to book into it on a specific calendar. Pickup games. So if you have a one-off type pickup game, maybe you're having a fundraiser type game, maybe you're having a just a special event where you're only doing a one-off type game, you could go ahead and add in a pickup game here. You would say when the day is, what sport you're playing, the time, any fees involved, any other information they need to know about it. And then so that people can register, if you needed them to register, the registration link is going to come from your Easy Facility account. You'll create a group that is specific for that league, or excuse me, that pickup game, and you'll put that registration link directly in here. Pickup games will show up on the public side of your site. The next one here is players. This is where we have all of our players listed that we have transferred from Easy Facility over to EZLeagues. Now, you can see up on the top right that there is an Add Player button where you could definitely add in a player on the EZLeagues side. However, it is a one-way connection in that if you add a player on this side in EZLeagues, it does not create a client profile on the Easy Facility side instead. So definitely be a little bit careful if you put in a player here on EZLeagues, it's not going to transfer over to the Easy Facility side. Our next one is officials. This is where we can add in our officials information. If we click add official in here, you'll see we could add in their first and last name, any of their contact information. You'll also be able to choose what sport they're able to officiate, what age groups they can officiate. That way you can have specific officials for specific sports. Once you've put in the information, you could go ahead and save it in there. All right. We've already talked about venues. We also do have reports. The first report is games by venue, where you could go ahead and either choose all venue, or you could change it to a specific venue in here. You can go ahead and choose what start date and what end date here, and run that report. This way, it's going to list out a schedule in here to let you know exactly what games are playing when. Game cards by sport. So here, if we choose what sport we're playing, again, you enter in your date range in here. This way you can print out your game cards all at once instead of printing them out individually. You'll see they auto-populate with the players' names in there. So that way you're able to just print them out and have them ready to go. Manual game cards. So if maybe for the one game that you're playing, maybe it's just a friendly game and you need to manually create a game card, you could go ahead and manually create that game card. Another really awesome report that's in here is the officials report. So anytime that you put an official on a particular league or a particular game, you could run this report to be able to hand to them and say, this is when I need you. You could run this report. It'll list out every venue, every league, match, and just letting your officials know exactly where it is that you need them to be. Now, we also do have some participant reports if you would like to run them. They just provide you different information about, the demographics of each player by gender, by ranking, by team, all of that information. We have sports. So within sports, we do have a few options. If we go to what sport we are looking for, we'll go ahead and click on the gear icon. Within here, you can change the default length of time of how you're playing. If your fees will always be the same, you could always put a default player and team fee. You can put in the rules and regulations in here. As we saw on the public side of the site, they will see these rules and regulations, so you can type them up in here so that they're able to find them in order to follow them. Also within sports, we do have standing options where you'll see the points per win, the points per tie, points per lost. We have all of these different categories here where you can curtail them directly to your facility or your sport. If you track your points per win a little bit differently than what's the default in the system. You can also choose how the standings are going to be sorted in here so that when you go to the public side of the site, you'll be able to see those standings and how they're sorted. Email alerts, you can set up email alerts in here. You'll have your first reminder and your second reminder in here. You could go as far out as 2 days before or as little as 15 minutes before the game is starting. This way, your players will get an email as long as they have a valid email address on file, letting them know that their game is going to be starting in that appropriate amount of time. So you can definitely go ahead and set them up. Now to talk about the next section, we do have our facility information. The facility information is pulled from your Easy Facility account here. You can see the address. There's an email address if there's somebody that needs to be contacted with any questions. This could be like an info@ type email. And then down below, you do have the About Us message that you can fill out. Again, this does show up on the public side of your site. The next option is photos, where you can upload photos to your website. They will be featured on the home page as the photo of the day, and it'll rotate through your photos as you use them or as they show up there. So like the first one will be the Easy Facility, and then the next one might be the Eastern Prince William Soccer League. Site options. This is where you can upload your logo here on the left-hand side. Now, just to let you know, the logo does have to be in JPEG format, where if you do have it in any other format, it's not going to be able to upload in here. It is going to be a broken link. So do please make sure that you use a JPEG. The menu options, so we'll get to the public side of the site in just a moment, but on the menu, there are different options in there. And if you're not going to use something like maybe you're not going to use classes, but you're going to use drop-ins, you can update that menu to make sure that you have all of the options for your clients to see. Your site colors in here, you're able to change those colors, make them custom for your facility. You can change them out here and there so that you're able to go ahead and make it unique to your facility. Now, the league page options and the tournament page options, these are going to be the filters that I spoke about within the league itself, where you can say, all right, I only want to show the in-progress leagues or the upcoming leagues. I don't want to see the completed leagues. If you make that change in here and you update this page, it'll always keep those options in there for you. Our next option are news. So think of news as kind of like a a blog post or a story or, so and so scored the winning goal if somebody did something amazing during the game. That's what this news is used for. You would just add in a story. You would put in the title of your story. You would put in the details of that blog post and just be as detailed as you want to. And then down here, you could relate it to any active league if you'd like to. You don't have to connect it to a league if you don't want to, but you can. It'll both show up on the homepage and it'll show up under news under that league. Links is a way to add just extra links to your EZLeagues site. This might not be used quite as often anymore. This was used a lot of times when people just had an EZLeagues account, that they didn't have an Easy Facility account for scheduling and such. You could add any external link in here that you would like your clients to be able to click on. Classifieds. So classified ads are more for your clients. They will be able to put in a classified ad on the public side of the site. So if we click on the www up here, it takes us directly to the public side of the site. And then if we go down here to classifieds, here we'll see that we have a couple different options. We have player seeking team, we have team seeking player, team seeking coach, coach seeking team. Your clients, as long as they are logged in and created an account for EZLeagues, they'll be able to go ahead and put this advertisement out there, letting know others that use your site that they're seeking these individual people. Now on this side, this is going to be a list of those classified ads. So this is just a way of you being able to keep track of what ads are going on. TV display. So if you have a TV display in your lobby area where you want to list out exactly what's going on a particular day, you could go ahead and click on the TV display. It'll give you the time, it'll give you the venue, tell you what event, all of that information. iframe integrations. So in EZLeagues, we do offer you these iframe integrations that you could take them and embed them on a different website. And that way you're able to link up these particular pages. So those are available to you as well. We also have advertising. So advertising will show up on the public side of your site on the right-hand side. So it'll show up over here. When you have more than one advertising show up, it'll kind of rotate through the different advertisements. Here you do have to use an image, and you could direct them to with a specific URL that once they click on it, it'll take them directly to that link. Last but not least, we just have your account, and there are also accounts where you can go ahead and create any staff accounts for anyone that needs them moving forward. So this is where you could create that account specific for your scorekeepers so that they're able to go ahead and put those scores in here. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some of the questions that still need to be answered and see if we can go through some of them. So as far as sports being added to the listing, so if you needed a sport added, you could reach out to our support team and ask if they could add in a specific sport for you. There is a very long list of sports, so I'm not sure what sport you're looking for, but you can definitely reach out to our support team and put in that request. If you are running a tournament and it gets canceled due to weather, is the news or email alerts better to get that out? So using news, it would be directly on the public side of the site in order to have your clients visually be able to see that the game is being canceled. But you would also want to have the email alerts turned on with the check mark telling you that once a game is moved, that it will alert them, letting them know that a game is moved. Also, alternatively, if you do have our Easy Facility with the mobile app as well, you can use push notifications out to your clients to let them know, hey, this game is canceled. That can be done through the Member Me Plus app. If you'd like to know more about, using Easy Facility plus the Member Me Plus app, please reach out to our support team or our account management team. Again, that would be support@easyfacility.com or am@easyfacility.com in order to get some more information on how you might be able to use that app. So their self-service account will not be the same as their EZLeagues account. It would be two separate accounts that they would have to create. All right, so I also said we would also kind of talk through our public side of the site a little bit here. So as you can see, this is kind of the home page in here. Up here is the quick stats. Now, obviously, this is a demo account, so there's not going to be any stats in here. But as you get leagues going on, those stats would change up in there, and it'll show you the league leaders. It'll show you the top offenses, the top defenses. It'll put all those stats in there. It'll also show you what games are scheduled for today. You'll see our news information in here, and we have our picture of the day. On the right-hand side, we do have the sign up option where, again, somebody could sign up for a league account in here to be able to do a couple different things. They'll be able to sign in for the league. They'll be able to do classified ads, different things like that. Leagues, if we click on the leagues page, it's going to show you exactly what leagues are upcoming, what leagues have recently been completed. Now the league itself is clickable where you can bring it open. Now you can see that Austin here has one win. It tells you exactly what scores they had, what points they're given. So any of the stats that you need. If you ever had questions as to what these stood for, if you click on them, it does bring open a little cheat sheet here to let you know exactly what each of those individual letters means. Again, the schedule is in here. Again, if they click on their name, it would show you exactly, what teams they're playing, what teams. We do have the news information and then the details with the rules and regulations. We also have tournaments in here, pretty similar to how the leagues looks. It's, if we click on it, it'll look pretty much the same. If there is a schedule here, it'll give you the schedule within here as well. The drop-in and pickup games are available here where there's the one-off type games and you can see the individual information about it that is posted in there. The schedule, where if they prefer a calendar view to see what games are being played on what day, that will show up on here where they could choose a specific day. Again, we already talked about classifieds. Feedback, they could go ahead and provide any feedback that they want to about the EZLeagues public site. About us, this is where you would have your About Us message show up that is custom for your account. And then the Contact Us just provides your contact information so that you're able to have the mailing address, any phone numbers, email address, any websites that you want to send them to, so on and so forth. So that is EZLeagues in a nutshell. If anybody has any more questions, I'll give them just a few more moments. For anybody that joined us late, I'll put the notice back out there as well. In the next about hour and 9 minutes, we will be sending out an email to all of our clients introducing a added feature that we are going to be introducing. So anyone that is interested in that feature, watch out for that email. That's for the new email campaigns. It's going to explain to you exactly what's being offered. That will include AI generated images, AI generated smart text. It will include special layouts and all this really fun information. So definitely be a lookout for that email. Nathan, I do see that you have your hand raised, but I don't believe that you're able to unmute on this webinar. So if you have any further questions, I would suggest either putting it in the Q&A or reach out to me after the webinar, and I'd be happy to try and answer those questions for you. Or you can also email our support team. For anybody who also has questions about upgrading their account, whether it be to include EZLeagues in the future, or if you want it to go from the classic version of our software to the newest version of our software. You can reach out to our support team or our account management team, and they will let you know what would be involved in that. They will be able to talk to you about any kind of pricing or any other options that are available to you. For anybody that is in the UK or that is outside of the United States, you'll definitely want to reach out to Lisa at L Jones, so LJONES at easyfacility.com with any of those questions as well. Well, I see that there are no more questions currently in the chat. I thank you all for joining us today. I hope that you guys learned something. If you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to our support team, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer them. But I hope everyone has a lovely day.